children's stories on.
Well, hello, boys and girls. I want to tell you the true story of a sheep named Barak. You may have heard this story. It came out in the news about a week and a half ago. So Barak the sheep was just like so many other sheep in Australia. It lived on a farm, and once a year, it would go through this yearly ritual of getting sheared. Do you know what that is? It's kind of like getting a haircut, but for sheep. So people come in with these huge, powerful trimmers. They go bzzz, right up all over the sheep, and they remove its huge coat wool. And they use that wool, of course, to make sweaters and things like socks and lots of other stuff to keep us warm. So one year, people went to look for Barak the sheep, but they couldn't find him. Uh-oh. So his owners, of course, that I'm sure loved him very much, they went looking for Barak the sheep, but they couldn't find him. We don't know how long they looked, but eventually they had to give up. I assume they feared the worst. They just couldn't find Barak the sheep. And look, we don't know how many years passed. We don't know how long it was that he was lost out there in the Australian wilderness. All we know is that about 2 weeks ago, Barak the sheep was finally found again. The reason why we know it was a long time, though, is because he now had a huge wool coat. It hadn't been cut for all these years. In fact, let me show you. We'll put it on the screen right now. Look at what he looked like when they finally found him. Just take that in for a moment. That's him carrying 78 pounds of wool. Wow, poor little guy. That's probably heavier than a lot of you kids, huh? I mean, 78 pounds of wool. Okay, here's another picture of him sitting down. Notice how his feet just kind of disappear in the midst of all that wool. Okay, finally though, they gave him a nice haircut. So look at this nice, fresh haircut that Barak the sheep received. By the way, it kind of reminds me of a story that you may have heard about in Luke chapter 15 that Jesus told. It was about a farmer that had 100 sheep. And one day, because apparently he hadn't been counting, he realized that one of his sheep got lost. So what did he do? He left the 99 sheep and he went after the one sheep that was lost. But here's the really amazing news. He never stopped looking for the sheep. The Bible tells us that he kept on looking until he finally found the sheep. And when he found it, do you know what he did? He celebrated. He took the sheep and the little lamb and put it on his shoulders. And then he came home and said, guys, celebrate with me because my sheep that was lost has now been found. You know, the truth is that all of us, you and me, are kind of like that sheep, right? I mean, sometimes we get lost in the wilderness of sin. Sometimes we get in trouble in sin or bad things happen. But the good news is that Jesus never stops looking for us. He continued searching for you, and he continued searching for me until he found us, and he rescued us. Okay, so look, how many of you today are grateful, first of all, that Barak the sheep got found? Put your hand in the air. Let me see your hand. All right. If you're grateful that Barak the sheep got found, okay, keep that hand in the air. How many are also grateful that Jesus is that good shepherd that went out and searched for us until he found us and saved us? Are you grateful for that as well? That Jesus is our good shepherd? Amen. I am as well. Okay, now let's bow our heads, close our eyes, as we have a really special word of prayer.
Dear Jesus, thank you for this children's story. Thank you that you love us, and thank you that you died on the cross for us. And thank you that you made heaven for us so we can go and live with you in heaven. I love you, amen.